everyone, welcome back to our channel.
We're the Dawnties.
My name is Rochelle.
I'm your favorite Donna.
And today we're just going to talk about Disney Plus. So Disney Plus has been out for almost 3 months, and we've been watching quite a bit. So we wanted to kind of talk about the things that we've been watching, what we've been enjoying, that not necessarily a lot of people have talked about. So,
well, I've heard one person talk about one of my favorite things.
Okay, so what's one of your favorite things?
Forky asked a question.
So if you have not seen it, we highly recommend it. So it's a series of shorts surrounded by Forky. And
Forky asked a question.
You know, in the movie, in Toy Story 4, if you haven't seen it, he's been alive, 2 or 3 days? So there's a lot he doesn't know. So what Pixar has done, basically, as having Forky ask all these questions about, like, what is love? What is money? What is time? What is a computer? What's a reader?
What is cheese?
What is cheese? And what was the one we watched last night, too? What is cheese? And there's 2 new ones that
we just watched.
Yeah, but they're releasing like one every 3 or 4 days, and they're no longer than 4 minutes long, but they are so funny, and we get to see a lot of
the other
Toy Story characters that you didn't see a whole lot in Toy Story 4, and they explain to him what all of these things are, and your favorite part.
Forky asked a question. At the very beginning, the intro into it.
I love whenever Forky says, well, I don't know. And his eye goes, doink, doink. That's my favorite part. She loves the voice. It's kind of scary, very unexpected, but it's a really cute series that we've been enjoying. So, highly recommend those. Another thing that we are watching, we're actually currently watching the last movie, but is the Marvel movies. So, we never watched any of the Marvel movies. Heard about them, knew a little bit about Hulk and Spider-Man and all that stuff, but it wasn't until our Black Friday mystery boxes that we got from $7 a pop, we got I think it was a Black Panther pop, and we were like, hey, we've never seen any of the Marvel movies. So over this Christmas holiday break,
somebody's been off work forever.
I have. I've been off work for basically 16 days, and I go back to work tomorrow, so yay. But so we've been kind of talking to my brother-in-law to kind of get a background on what,
because he's seen them all.
Yeah, reached out to him and said, hey, how do we do this? What do we watch? Where do we start? So he sent us this order of how to watch them, and I disagree with the order. I will say the first 2 movies should be swapped. You should start with Captain Marvel. The way that movie ends with the introduction of Nick Fury is better to watch that before the first Captain America movie. Because at the end of Captain America, which was the first movie on the list, was Captain America, the first Avenger. And at the very end, Nick Fury comes in and says,
70 years later,
you've been asleep. It's 70 years later. But in Captain Marvel, we know who Nick Fury is. We find out what happens to him and what his whole role is.
Yeah.
The whole eye thing happens with the flirkin.
The flirkin.
And then at the very end of that movie, he says, I'm going to try to find more like you. And boom, that should be the beginning of the whole Marvel universe. We did skip around
a little bit.
Just because the first movie was The Incredible Hulk. It's not on Disney Plus, and it wasn't on Netflix, so we had to skip that one. And then as we got further along, we skipped some by choice. And then we skipped some just because it wasn't on either Netflix or Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But we are currently about an hour into Avengers Endgame. And I'm excited.
And we gotta wrap this up because we gotta go back and finish it.
Yeah, so we have a couple more videos to film. But yeah, very excited to kind of catch up and kind of learn all about these Avengers and the whole Marvel universe. And my favorite Avenger is Iron Man. And who's your favorite?
Oh no, I kind of like Rocket.
She loves Rocket. The Guardians movies were very funny. I think my favorite as a whole, though, was Captain Marvel. But my favorite character, my favorite Avenger is Iron Man, for sure.
I really liked the movie Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it was really good. And kind of, like I said, set up the whole thing. So if you haven't watched any of the Marvel Universe movies, start with Captain Marvel. That, to me, makes the most perfect sense to start. But anyways, so we've been spending a lot of time watching the majority of those movies, and I think a couple will go back and watch, because we skipped by choice the Black Panther, We skipped by choice Ant-Man versus Wasp, which I really want to see that too because I really like Ant-Man.
Yeah, he's funny.
He's quirky. He's funny. I like Paul Rudd, so I want to go back and watch that. And then a couple just aren't on there yet, or for some reason not. I don't know. But yeah, I've really enjoyed watching and figuring out what all this stuff is, what all the hype is about. What's another one that we've been watching?
Well, we watched the
Imagineering Story.
Yeah, the Imagineering Story. We watched all of that. I don't know if they're going to make any more. I think it's done.
It ended on episode 6, which
that may be all of it.
Yeah, that may be it. Because all the other kind of releases that we've been watching have been like once every 4 or 5 days, maybe once a week. And everything else that we watched is up to 8.
Yeah.
And that one is still stuck on 6. So I don't know if they're going to continue it or if they do have more content. It just hasn't released yet.
That was really good. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. And you watch a lot of historical documentaries about Disney on YouTube. That's a lot of your watch list is filled with that kind of content. So it was really interesting. And if you're a fan of Disney or the parks in particular and just kind of how all that evolved, highly recommend it. I don't think anybody has not, who loves Disney has not seen it or at least started it, because it's so good. And a lot of the Facebook groups, a lot of people have talked about the Imagineering Story. It's incredible. It's well worth it.
And then another one that we're watching a little bit of is Encore with Kristen Bell.
Yeah, so this one is kind of unique. So I know a lot of people have kind of dove headfirst into that. I'm a huge fan of Kristen Bell, especially when she's with her husband Dex.
They're hysterical.
They're hysterical. They're the best. I am a huge fan of musicals. I was in theater in high school. I did musicals. And for some reason, I wasn't excited to kind of watch Encore.
Which surprised me.
It surprised me too, because it has all of these elements that I'm like, oh yes, I'm totally for.
Yeah.
And we just actually started it today. We watched the first 2 episodes today. Second episode is in Texas, in Saginaw.
Actually, just down the road a bit. Yeah. Just down the road a piece.
Yeah. But it's good. It's interesting. It definitely takes me back to my high school days for sure. And just how you put a musical together, all the work that goes in behind it. Of course, we had 2 months per play and musical to do where they only have a week. But it's really fun to kind of see. And the second episode was actually just 12 years ago, was that cast. So they're younger adults, where the first one was from 96. So they're much older. So it's kind of interesting to see those 2 specifically. But we are continuing to watch that. Not something that I'm dying to binge watch right now, but it was good. It was good. Yeah. What did you think about it? We haven't really talked about it.
I mean, it was alright. I mean, it's okay. I'm not as into musical theater as this one is, but, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's alright.
But I think my favorite that we have watched,
surprisingly, I think it's both of our favorites, is The World According to Jeff Goldblum. It's hysterical.
First of all, he's just a quirky guy. And the whole documentary series that he's doing is basically trying to find out the origin of certain topics. So he did one on ice cream. He did one on barbecue, which of course came to Texas.
Texas, duh.
Texas has made an appearance in a lot of his episodes. He did one on tattoos, which was very interesting because we both have multiple tattoos.
I got a couple. A couple.
He did one on bicycles. He did one on coffee that we just watched today.
And the other one we just watched today about RVs.
Because she's all about RVs at the moment.
At the moment.
So that he's really funny. His personality is very quirky.
Very dry sense of humor.
Yeah, and he had us laughing out loud several times. Just today in the last 2 episodes that we watched, the one on coffee and RVs. So yeah. Definitely recommend that one if you have not. I think they're less than 30 minutes long, so it's not an hour-long documentary series.
And you learn stuff.
You learn stuff. You learn stuff, y'all.
You learn stuff, but you don't realize you're learning because it's interesting. It's funny.
It is very interesting.
So,
and he takes it into the future, or present, and then he trails it back to its origin, and why is it something?
The one on jeans was really cool.
Oh yes, he did one on denim specifically. That was very interesting, very surprising. But it's definitely a series I would personally recommend because I think it is my favorite.
Yeah, I really like it. We can't wait for the next one to come up.
Yeah, and I'm surprised we let 2 go, but we've kind of been in an Avengers.
We've been binging on Marvel.
Yeah. So highly recommend that one. If there's anything else that you guys have seen or any originals, I mean, I know The Mandalorian.
We're not into Star Wars, y'all. I've seen the first 3, the original ones that came out 50 years ago.
Not quite that long. 30 years ago. Anyways, whatever.
I've seen those, but I haven't seen any of the newer ones.
And I've never seen
any of them.
So I have, picked up things here and there. I know what a stormtrooper looks like, what they are, what their role is. If
now,
they're good
of course,
or bad,
we haven't been living under a rock. We do know Baby Yoda.
Yes, and I think Baby Yoda is going to convince me to watch The Mandalorian, even though I will have no idea what is going on. But that Baby Yoda is just so stinking cute.
Yeah.
So maybe,
but I'm telling her before she watches something like The Mandalorian, she needs to watch all the movies.
Yeah.
So it may be a while before I get her to that point.
Yeah. It may be. I mean, if I could just know the gist, I picked up things just from pop culture and living, and I know some things. I just don't know everything. I know Darth Vader.
He's a bad guy. Yeah, that's what my dad used to sound like with his the sleep machine.
And I know who Chewbacca is thanks to the Chewbacca mom from Texas from a couple of years ago. I actually still follow her on social media, so I do know about Chewbacca, but who or what he is,
he's a Wookiee.
Who or what a Wookiee is, I don't know. So I don't know if we'll ever watch that, but Baby Yoda is just so stinking cute, and I cannot get enough of all the memes and all of the things that are coming out with him, so that's really fun. But other than The Mandalorian, I don't think there's anything else that's super hype that we're not watching.
Not that I know about, but if you found anything that we haven't mentioned that you think we would enjoy, y'all know us pretty good. I mean...
I actually saw National Geographic type of series where Will Smith is the narrator.
Okay.
Not quite Morgan Freeman, but it might be interesting. And we haven't seen anything from the National Geographic segment of Disney Plus.
Okay.
I don't think so.
No.
So we might dive into a little bit of that.
Okay. But yeah, tell us what you're watching.
Yeah, let us know what you're watching. If you watch any of the shows that we mentioned that we are big fans of, Jeff Goldblum.
I never thought, when I watched the first one, I did not realize that I was going to be as into that series as I am.
Same here. All right, so that's all we just wanted to share with you guys. Just kind of taking in Disney Plus and want to know what you guys are watching. And we can talk Marvel. I want to know who your favorite Avenger is.
I want to know what your favorite... Fuck yes, it's a question.
I like the one on Money because Ham's in it and I like Ham.
I actually like the one on Love because of the guest stars that were on that one. Not the topic.
No.
The guest stars.
The guest stars that were voicing the chair and...
Yeah.
That one
was good.
All right, so that's all we have to share with you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video.
Bye.
Bye.